This is loud. Can you guys hear me? Is that good? Okay. So you know SBIA brought you here today. How many of you actually know what SBIA is and what we do? Well, I know all of you in the back do. Okay. So of those of you that raised your hands, how many of you have actually contacted us with questions, about drug development, guidance, anything like that? Okay. So you guys are going to leave here today knowing when you go back, if you have any other questions that come up, where you can go for information. So it's not just this conference. We have an external presence too. So my name is Renu Lal. I work with Brenda Stoddard back there, our director, in the CDER Small Business and Industry Assistance, or SBIA program. We acquired this program back in 2009. It was very bare bones, and so we have built it up to what it is today. And we're a very small group within the very large FDA organization, but we're growing, and we do our job with providing industry with as much guidance and pulling in all the subject matter experts back here to make them accessible to you. So let's start with just a brief organizational chart, just so you know where we are. We're within CDER. Within CDER, there's the Office of New Drugs. There's different offices: compliance, pharmaceutical quality. We're within the Office of Communications, so we do a lot of outreach. And within the Office of Communications, we have the Division of Online Communications, the Division of Health Communications, and then we are located within Division of Drug Information, or DDI, and you've probably heard that term before. So we work with we're part of DDI, we're just a small subgroup. So, at FDA, we know more and more now that small businesses often need help, and we want to increase that transparency. So within the Office of Medical Products and Tobacco, we have different organizations or different groups that actually focus specifically on helping industry. And it's not necessarily just small business, but that's what we say because that's how it starts out. So for example, devices, they're across downstairs across the hall, they have their own program. Biologics has their own program, tobacco. So all these different organizations, these different groups have their own way to help industry and to provide that technical assistance that you may not have if you don't have an application in and you need general guidance. We're there to guide you and to help you, and also to educate you, as I'll talk about. So our mission, in a nutshell, we're here to help you. We want to engage with industry, not only, so we started off just answering questions over phone and email, which I'll talk about. You can call us Monday through Friday anytime, email us, and we respond to you. But now, more and more in the past couple of years, we've been going out to educate. So these conferences, I'll talk about other things we do. So it's not only answering the questions, it's being proactive and increasing the transparency and decreasing that wall that a lot of industry kind of perceives is between them and FDA. We really want that information out there because it not only helps you, but it helps FDA. If you're submitting more complete applications and you have more knowledge, it's less work on the FDA employees, and we can get better applications and get those drugs out there. So our audience, like I said, we started off as CDER Small Business. We kind of identified with the small business because we thought they're the ones that really need that guidance. And as you can see here, so by definition, small business is a company with less than 500 employees, including affiliates. As you can see here, we're really split. It's about half and half who our audience is. So we have large pharma, we have small businesses. But that doesn't mean that the large companies don't need help. So according to our surveys at our conferences, about a quarter of our audience has submitted an application to the FDA, a marketing application. About one half has not. About 5% is in the process, and about 15% they don't really know. So I don't know what that means, but that just goes to show, even though half our audience is large pharma, they still have never submitted an application. It may be a new person, it may be somebody that's working on a new project that's not familiar. So even if you've been in industry for a while, or if you are with a large company, there's always new questions and new things you can learn, and that's what we're here for. So, you've seen this geomap before from Jeff, and this is from one of our previous conferences. And so thanks to technology, we're now worldwide, we're global. So it started with email. We could answer emails from people all over the world. You know, some of our hardest questions come at like 5 or 6 in the morning from India and China, from those companies. I mean, it's 24/7, right? We get these questions and we answer them. But now with all this webcasting, we can webcast, like today, our webinar, our conferences, our webinars, things like that. So we really, truly are global, and it's pretty amazing. So instead of telling you about what we do, we put together this cute little 90-second video just to entertain you post-lunch. So you know, you can get an idea of what we do, and then I'll go through the different items in detail.
The journey to develop and market a human drug can be long, complex, and filled with regulations. But FDA CDER Small Business and Industry Assistance, or SBIA, is here to help. SBIA provides education and answers to help all regulated pharmaceutical industries, not just small business, all over the world. What do we offer? Web resources for all your questions and training needs. The popular Regulatory Education for Industry, or REdI conferences. Free events that offer direct interaction with FDA subject matter experts and provides RAC credits. We offer free webinars to share FDA's knowledge and expertise, featuring live question and answer sessions, video and audio archives, and virtual attendance from anywhere in the world. We publish the CDER SBIA Chronicles, a brief e-newsletter and podcast that highlight a specific and timely regulatory topic. And we offer in-depth CDER Learn, web-based learning tutorials. Stay current by signing up for our listserv, or connect via LinkedIn. And best of all, everything is free.
So I'm going to start by echoing. Okay. Well, I'm going to kind of, are you familiar with our website, SBIA, fda.gov/CDER SBIA? Anyone here use it? No. Okay. That's actually really good, because you're going to get a great resource. So we put together this website, and I'm going to show you where it is. And basically, you know, the fda.gov, I'm sure you frequented that, and it's huge, and it's really easy to get lost in, and I would always end up using that search engine, and it would bring me to old guidances and old information. So we put together a website specifically for industry right here. And again, it's fda.gov/CDER SBIA. And we organized everything. We used different types of like Google Analytics data, questions that we received from industry, and we use all this information to develop this web page. And there is a ton of information here. Can I navigate? Okay. So when you come to this website, you know, it's organized, the bulk of the information is in the center here. And it's organized by topic. So let's say you need to know you want to know, you have a question about INDs. So you go to drug development, scroll down, there's information about engaging with FDA, IND submissions. So, you know, they're just good place markers. So you know where to start. You have a starting point. You know where to get your information. And we're constantly updating this with, you know, new links and deleting out the old links. But it's really useful. Addresses for regulatory submissions, people often don't know where to go for that. This is one of the meeting pages that Rachel was talking about, the guidances for requesting pre-IND meetings, type C meetings. We have courses here on how to request meetings with FDA. So there's really a ton of information, and it's not just drug development. If you're filing an NDA or a BLA, you know, there's a ton of information here too. So just depending on what you're looking for. And it's just very easy to find this instead of just going to the search engine and not knowing where you're going. We also have resources at the bottom, guidance documents, we have statistics. A lot of people want to know IND approved, how many have been submitted, that type of thing. We've got statistics on that. Economic incentives for people that need to know, how do I get grants, things like that. So we have all that. And then we also always try to keep our spotlight box updated with upcoming events and recent events. So we have this webinar that I'll talk about that we just posted, and I think it'll be of interest to all of you. I'll talk about that one in a little bit. We have our conferences here. We have just information, Office of Pharmaceutical Quality Annual Report. We work at different offices, and we actually have a copy of this report out there. So if that's of interest to you, we post it, we make it available, we work with different groups. And so this is general information. If you want archives of all our webcasts, our newsletters, all these learning opportunities, you click on that right here, CDER SBIA Learn. And this is organized in much the same way, but the information is different. So if you want to know what type of training have we put out there for industry as far as INDs, you would click on New Drug Development and Safety, scroll down, and there's a ton of information here. These are the slides and recordings from previous conferences. We have webinar, webcasts, we have newsletters, we have online learning courses. Like this one is the CMC perspective of the IND. That's very useful. So there's a ton of information here that you can really use, and it's all organized by topic. And it's all training, pretty much. Not official training, but things that you can use to further your knowledge. In this learning resources box, we have webinars, conferences. These are different things that we put out, and I'm going to talk about this in just a minute. Over here, we have SBIA resources in Chinese, which is fairly new, and we're starting to translate webinars into Mandarin. And so that's another, item of interest, especially since we're global now, for those of you that are in China right now. So we're hoping to do more and more. And we work with different offices to do this within different groups within FDA. So there's really a lot of training information here. And I'm going to go through each one of these learning resources one-on-one, but basically, if you say you want slides from today's conference, you can come to CDER SBIA Learn. You can click on conferences and workshops, and then once they're posted, you would find them. There's going to be a link saying presentations and slides. But if you don't know what you want, then you can always go to the topic, and then the individual lectures will be posted there. And the same goes with, say, our online tutorial courses. Everything's posted here, or you can go to the individual topic and find it there. Our webinars, and I'll go over what all of this is in a minute. So let's get back to my slides. Okay. Good. Okay, so workshops and conferences. Well, you're all here, so you know what we offer as far as workshops, but this is the general REdI conference. And typically, we have been offering this in conjunction with CDRH, this dual track conference, for a couple years now. Actually, I think we started in 2013, 14, something like that. 2012, okay. So this is in conjunction with CDRH, and we typically offer it in the spring and the fall. In the spring, usually we analyze our registration data to see where the companies are concentrated, both devices and drugs, and we go out to different areas and we travel with our little tour group here. So we travel, and we tried it. Last year it was in Atlanta. The year before, I think it was in Minnesota. So we try to cover different geographic areas where those companies are located. But now we are only going to be offering it in the spring because it's webcast now. So whoever was going to come to Maryland in the fall can always join on in the spring. And we do have budgetary constraints, as Brenda mentioned earlier, with the government. And so, like I said, these are dual track conferences. But we also offer topic-specific conferences throughout the year. And I don't know if any of you, has anybody been to any other conference other than this REdI conference? One person? Okay, so we're trying to offer 3 or 4 a year. We just had the Generic Drugs Forum in April, and that was also webcast, and that had record attendance. It was very highly attended. We are planning, we just acquired the Clinical Investigator Training Program, CITSI. Has anybody been to that? Okay. That will be a 3-day conference in Maryland. We have not announced it yet, but if you want to mark it on your calendars, it will be November 13th to 15th in Maryland. And we will be going over all aspects of clinical studies. So you'll be learning a lot. Statistical structure, preclinical and clinical science, rare diseases, ethical requirements. It's a very packed 3 days. That is the one exception where we say everything we do is free. That's the one exception. Registration will be about $400, which isn't bad for a 3-day conference. And it will not be webcast, so you will have to attend in person if you're interested. So mark your calendars for that, November 13th to 15th. We have not yet announced it formally, though. And like I said, we're usually webcast. And you can get RAC credits, Regulatory Affairs Certification credits. We are hoping in the future, at next year's conference, that we can provide continuing education credits for those of you that are physicians or pharmacists, nurses, and need those credits. We're hoping to get that too. And then these are some just examples. In the past couple of years, we've had a focus on INDs for our general REdI conferences in the spring and fall. And that's because, every time we have a new audience, and this is a topic that everybody needs. People are constantly learning more and more, and there's new turnover in the industry. So that's why we've been kind of sticking to the same topics. But, we've done things. We've done GCPs. We've done drug registration and drug listing. So we always rotate, but we found that this topic is really sticking, and that's why we've done it for the past couple of years. And then some of our topic-specific conferences, we worked with OPQ to bring on the Pharmaceutical Quality Symposium. We've done some on generic drugs, prescription drug labeling. That was a big one. GMPs again, inspections, and then the CDER course, which is coming up. So this year we're hoping to have a couple more, maybe 3 more, including CDER. So we'll see where that goes. But I'll let you know how you can find out. And again, all our recordings are available on CDER SBIA Learn and also at SBIAevents.com. So you can always go back and reference or show your colleagues and urge them to join live next time. We also present. So for instance, every year we go to the Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR, and Small Business Technology Transfer Conference, which is usually in a different location every time, but it's put on by NIH, the National Institutes of Health. And here there's small businesses in healthcare that are very, very early on. Most of them are not at the point of filing an IND, or they're right at that point and they need a lot of preclinical guidance, they don't know what's coming up ahead, what they have to prepare for, because they're really there looking for grants. So we go there and we talk to them one-on-one. We present, we talk to them, and we let them know, we guide them. So whatever questions they have, we answer. And we provide them with contacts and references. So it's really useful. We go there every year. Brenda was just in Puerto Rico last week presenting with the Office of Minority Health. So that's another one we've been going to that we're asked to present at. Also, every year we do the NIH Commercialization Accelerator Program, or NIH CAP. And that's when there's small companies that come and they're on an 18-month roadmap. So they come to this and they present their ideas to a panel of different agencies and they get feedback. So I think we've helped about 15 companies in the past year. So, we're always looking for new ways to reach out and kind of expand our offerings. We're not really limited by that much. So if anybody ever has any ideas, we're very receptive to feedback. If you have ideas on how you would like to see us grow, new offerings, we're very receptive, and we're always looking for that. On your surveys or email us, talk to us. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for our audience, because we're here to help you. Webinars. Has anyone attended any of our webinars? Okay. Well, these are very, very useful. So they're kind of like mini conferences. If you take any one of our subject matter experts here and put them on a webinar screen, it's really, you get that information. They're usually an hour long, but now we have extended webinars that are anywhere from 3 to 8 hours long. And that's when we have multiple speakers. So it's kind of like a half-day conference. Everything is webcast. Everything is online. And again, it's global for that reason, and everything is archived on and again, RAC credits are also available. Some webinars that you may be interested in, that one I showed you in the spotlight box on the FDA.gov/CDER SBIA Learn. We just released a pre-recorded webinar. So some of our webinars are live with Q&A sessions, just like you have here. So you would type it into your chat box, the questions, and you get a response. And some of them are pre-recorded. So if there's a new forms or new guidances, and we just want to put the information out there but don't want a live webinar. So this one that was just released was on the new forms 1571 and 356H. And it's very in-depth. It walks you through the forms, the requirements, what's changed, the SNOMED CT, how to get that information, how to search for your terms. It also goes over combination products and how to fill out the forms for that, how to do your request for designation, all that. And then what's great is there's a live walkthrough with mock data. So you're able to see how those forms should be filled out and what's new with them. So I highly recommend that all of you take that. Again, it's on our webpage in the spotlight box. We also, we have not announced this yet either, so you guys are getting a lot of new information here. In June, we will be having another webinar, June 19th from 10 to 2 Eastern Time on post-marketing adverse drug experience, paid, and risk evaluation and mitigation strategies programs. And we will also include points to consider for inspection. So that's another one, June 19th, 10 to 2, and we'll be announcing that pretty soon too. That hasn't been announced formally yet. And that I think is also posted at SBIAevents.com right now. Yeah, we just haven't advertised. And we're also hoping to do a webinar this year, later this year, on grants and waivers. So that's another one that's of interest, particularly to small businesses that may not have all that money. So these are some examples of past webinars. You know, we work with different offices and divisions throughout CDER and even throughout FDA to put these on. We go out, and Brenda does a lot of this. She goes out and gets those subject matter experts to present. She finds out what topics is industry really looking for, and depending on their availability, we bring them to you. So these, you know, they're really invaluable. Everything's free. Everything's webcast, and you can join from anywhere in the world. And you get your credits. Other things we do, we interact with foreign regulators. So a lot of times foreign regulators from different countries, Rwanda, different countries come to us, and and you know, they need guidance. So we talk to them, we explain our drug approval process. We work with the Office of International Programs to go over this. To consult and get questions answered, and they have questions for us, we have questions for them. We also try to publish as much as we can. I'm going to speed through these because I'm short on time. I write the CDER SBA Chronicles, which is a newsletter I put out every other month. It's not really a newsletter. It's just a brief 2-page summary of a particular item of interest to industry. So these are some of the issues that we've done this past year: PDUFA, GDUFA, homeopathic drug regulation. We also have one that I'm working on right now on the FAERS database, the FAERS public dashboard, which is an adverse event reporting dashboard, which is of a lot of interest to industry. So if you don't know about it, look for that. We have online tutorial courses, and this is all on CDER SBIA Learn. And these are modules that you can take free of charge just to educate yourself. They're multimedia tutorials, and they're really useful. So how do you stay connected? How do you find out about all this? Well, if you're not on our email update list on our website, at the bottom, we have Get Email Updates. You click on that, sign up with your email, and you'll get all our information right to you, our new offerings, courses, webinars, conferences, in addition to new guidances, Federal Register notices, anything that's of interest to industry. And we're on social media now. So LinkedIn, if you're not following us, be sure to follow us. There's a link at the bottom of our webpage too, right down there. Follow us on LinkedIn, or you can go right to our LinkedIn page. And again, it's similar to what we put out via email, but it's social media, so it's just always populating your feed. We're trying to get into Twitter, so our last generic drugs forum, we actually had a Twitter chat, and we're hoping to make this available at future conferences. And then finally, our grunt work. We answer emails, we answer phone calls. Contact us with your questions. Don't hesitate. You know, we always get back to you within 48 hours. If we need to consult out, we still let you know we need to consult out, and this is the situation. But we are your point of contact if you don't have an application. And here's our contact information. Again, please send us your questions, send us your feedback. We're here to help you.